We're back this week for another edition of Te Akau TV. We're joined today with Te Akau Racing Manager Reese Trumper. Reese, we're getting into a big weekend this weekend with the Matamata Breeders' Stakes, and I know a lot's on the line for the stables with this one.
There is. We're obviously a dominant record in this race for the past few years, and we hope it continues for sure.
Absolutely, and there's something special about that race. I know that the winning stable, they get their colours presented on the front lawn of the racecourse.
They do. So last year we won it with Zurigan, so Cambridge Stud got their famous colours there, but it certainly looked good in Tangerine.
Absolutely, and it's been in Tangerine many a year as well. So just quickly, Reese, Imperatriz, what an amazing return to her autumn campaign there on Saturday, taking out the Lightning Stakes in a really tough fashion.
It was great. She leaves it all on the racetrack, doesn't she? Obviously, the trial had a few people scratching their heads, but not once was Mark ever concerned. And you take a lot of faith from Mark. He knows when they're right. And once he got there, he told us that she's spot on. And her work at the Valley leading into it was really good. And Opie gave her a gun ride. Obviously, Private Eye leading them up. That was a shock to us all. But Opie had him covered a long way from home. And even the step up and trip to 1200 or even further, I think she would have had the course covered all the way.
And she went home that night, I believe, or I saw on Twitter that she licked the feed bin clean as well. So she's really ready to kick on to the rest of her campaign, which I believe may include one extra run there in the early part of March, but the team's still deciding where her next run will be. And we'll be catching up with Ben Gleeson later on in the show, live from Melbourne, where it's a sweltering 38 degrees. So lots going on there alongside Campion Nessa and Skew with taking part in the races there at Caulfield on Saturday. But Reese, I guess just quickly, the one runner in New Zealand, or the one winner in New Zealand of the week, was Star in the Sky there at New Plymouth on Friday.
She was good, obviously back to rating 60, but the 1400 is far short of her best. But she travelled really strongly as a gun ride by Warren, just letting the speed unfold in front of him. He peeled her out, and at the top of the straight, she didn't look like she was going to get beaten, and she was strong to the line. Like I said, the 1400 is far short of her best. Once she gets to a mile, 2,000 plus, I think we'll see a really nice filly. She was obviously bred by a very good farm and New Long Investments. So we're really happy to have a horse in the stable that they bred.
Excellent. Well, we're going to have a quick look at the yearling of the week, and we're keen to have another look at one from the Magic Million sale like we did with the Philly Syndicate last week there, Reese. And this one here is an absolute cracker. So I'll get it up on screen in a second. But he is by Savabeel out of Percentage, and I think there's a really nice one on the page there in Revolutionary Miss, which you'll see go around in the Mannerism Stakes there at Caulfield on Saturday. But do you want to talk through this exciting colt race?
He's a beautiful colt. I've actually just got back from the farm and had a good look at him. It's the first time I've seen him since he's been back from the Magic Million sale, and the amount he's improved since then is remarkable. He really is a nice Savabeel colt. He reminds me of all those Group 1 winners Dave's had by Savabeel that are colts: Embellish, Novair, Coazabeel. It's just a real up-and-going sort of horse that's going to make a really nice 3-year-old. I think he is a Guineas horse as a 3-year-old. He's got a beautiful pedigree. Brought up a very good farm in China Horse Club. They race some lovely horses. So to get a horse for them, and for them to even stay in, it's a big help. That's how much they like the colt, and to have they know what they're talking about. So, no, he's a lovely animal, and I'm really looking forward to getting him to the breakers in the next couple of weeks for sure.
67.5% remaining in him, Reese, and a bit unusual for the stable to go offshore to buy their Savabeels, but DC's or David and Mark have bought plenty of these over the years, and they must have been really taken by him to bring him home from a sale like the Magic Million. So that's super exciting. So get in touch with the team over the weekend if you are interested in that exciting colt, and have a look for Revolutionary Miss running around in the Mannerism Stakes, which is a pretty short price favourite. And I guess any victories from that horse can only improve the page and the perceived value of that horse as well. So we're going to have a quick look at the races this week at Matamata and a few down at OTAC. We might just kick off their race at Matamata. And we start there in race number 1, the Price Racing 1600, rating 65 benchmark. 2 take their place. Treaty of Paris, drawn barrier 2 with Warren Kennedy on board, and Rule of Law, drawn barrier 8 with Open on board.
Treaty of Paris was very disappointing over ground last start. Back to the mile off a quick freshen up. he should bounce back. He can get up on speed, which I think will be key early on at Matamata. And Warren Kennedy gets on with the horse well. His work's been good. We've kept him nice and fresh, bringing him back in trip. He's gone the right way. He certainly needs to pick up his form, though, from his last start. Rule of Law, of a quick freshen up, he was good. Over a shorter trip at Matamata over the 1400, it wasn't ideal. He's a horse that can get up and on speed. There will be a lot of speed early on in the day, so where he ends up from that draw, I'm not sure, but he's got Opie aboard, which will be a big help to him. And as long as he gets an uninterrupted run, he's right in the finish.
And race 2, the Ancroft Developments 1400 maidens at a time. This has come up really strong there with Smoke Show and Province, who bet home certainly there at Te Rapa a few weeks ago. El Viento takes his place in the field, drawn barrier 6 with Opie Boston on board.
He's going really well, this boy. Obviously, the 1300 was far too slick for him the other day. But back to 1400 on a track that he won at is going to be ideal for him. He'll just be ridden quietly from that draw, let all the speed unfold in front of him. Hopefully they go hard enough and set it up for a horse like him. He's got a good turn of foot. And Opie on again, it's a big plus.
Race 3 there, the Ritual Stud 1200, rating 65 benchmark. 2 there, Elmanet draws barrier 13. Been a bit unlucky in her recent appearances and family ties there. Another one who's been running home nicely, draws barrier 9 with Jessica Allen on board.
Almanet just got left in front a long way from home. She had nothing going good enough for her to go with her the other day, and she got swamped late. She's going really well. The 1200 metres will be ideal for her. She's won over this trip at Matamata. She's a filly that can get up on speed. Yet again, a sticky draw, though. If they kick up the inside, we might be caught a little deep. But I remember when she won her maiden race at Matamata, she was 3 deep on speed, and she fought really strongly to the line. So she's got a tough performance left in her. And being a black type place getter last season, she's very well placed in the 65 grade. Family ties, 1200 metres is going to be far short of her best, but having missing no trials at Matamata next Tuesday, it's good to get her a run round, and she'll be hitting the line strongly, and once she gets over more ground, she'll be a winning chance.
And race 4 there, the Group 3 Fairview Matamata Slipper for the 2-year-olds, Colts and Gouting, set weights 1200. Opie, I presume he's staying in New Zealand to ride these 2-year-olds and move to strike as one of the more impressive colts going around.
He is, and he gets the blinkers on for the first time on Saturday. His work's been very genuine in them. He's just so laid back. You don't know how well he's going, but once the blinkers go on, he's very switched on colt. From that draw, he should land into the 1-1. They'll go hard enough for him, and I think that he's certainly the colt for the race.
And Unbridled Joy won really well there at Matamata a few weeks back from a pretty tough-looking position there on the fence and really lengthened home to win well.
He would have learned a lot from that performance as well. He's gone the right way since then. He's a colt that's got a good personality about him. He likes to know he's the man around the place for sure. He's complete opposite to move the strike. From that draw, he jumped well at Matamata, so we wouldn't have to tug him back. So he could sit outside leader or just be in the box seat. But he's gone the right way since his victory, and I'm sure he'll be chasing down the stablemate hard in the finish.
And race 5 there, the Westbury Stud 1400, rating 75 benchmark. Freeze frame, never really in it this last up. Can put a line through that performance?
You could. He was very disappointing. The mile just never really let down at all, did he? So back to the 14, kept his work nice and fresh, changed some things up with him. The full cut blinker goes on, Opie Boston on. Hopefully we can turn his form around.
And Sophisticado seems a horse, if you followed his career, he can pop up when you least expect it.
Exactly. His record at Matamata is good. The 1400, blinkers back on, should help him. Just didn't run out the mile the other day at Tauranga, so back and trip will help him. He's looking well and happy, the old boy, and we've kept his work nice and fresh, changing things up for him, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if he ran a bold performance.
And race 6 there, the Lisa Chittick Plate, fillies and mares, set weight and penalties 1400, fashion shoot draws barrier 5 with Opie Boston on board.
She's in marble with a mare this. Her run cracker Million Night was massive. She's gone the right way since then. Does find herself in the smallish field. They can get quite tactical, but she's drawn a nice barrier. Hopefully she can be 2 or 3 sets back, one off, and not be too far off them at the top of the straight. There does look to be a very genuine tempo with Churchillian in there. If she was to steal a couple of cheap sectionals, she would be hard to peg back, but we've got the class mare, I believe, in the field, and yet again, Opie up some massive help.
And race 7 there, the Group 2 J-Swap Contractors Limited Matamata Breeders Stakes, 2-year-old fillies, set weights 1,200 metres. This is the race they're all going to be keeping eyes on from the stables, and the one that we want to win on Saturday with Captured by Love, hopefully, who hated the track there at New Plymouth a few weeks back, but got the job done pretty impressively.
Just shows how classy she is. She hated it. We thought we were beaten a long way out, but she just kept fighting to the line. That 3-week gap between runs has been ideal for her. She's had plenty of time to get over that, and on her condition and the way she's eating, her work, you wouldn't expect her to run a bad race Saturday. She's drawn a nice barrier. Whether King Kelso's filly goes as hard as she did the other day, I'm not sure. We obviously like to be out in front rolling along, but if she wants to go, I'm sure Opie will just sit off her and be camping. But I certainly think off time form ratings, we've got the best filly in the field.
And race 8 there, the listed Matamata Veterinary Services Equine Kaimai Stakes, open handicap over 2,000 metres. And I've said it once, I'll say it again, be wary of the Mark Walker horse on the quick backup. And Aotea Lad ticks that box from last week, has the services of Opie Boss, and he's sure to run a big race.
He was very good last Saturday, Ellerslie. He came again on the line, actually, over the 1,500. So the step up to 2,000 on the quick backup will be ideal for him. We tried him over 2,100. He was probably a bit tired and had enough when we got him to that trip at Hastings in his last start. But we're happy with the way he's going. And from that draw, he's got to be a chance for sure with Opie bossing up.
And Accidental Tourist last seen there in the Aotearoa Classic on Karaka Million Night. Probably can put a line through that run as well. Reece, how's he going going into the start?
Yeah, like you said, he probably found that race a bit rich. The form out of that will be really good. So move on, but his work's been good. 2,000 metres for the first time, big question mark. But being a 4-win horse in the grade that he raced in as a 3-year-old, he's very well placed. So we'll ride him conservatively. Billy Jacobson's been in to ride him this morning, and he was absolutely thrilled with his work. So, no, you wouldn't be surprised if he was to pick up, because his form before the Aotearoa Classic was very good, and you can't discount his chances. He's a very good horse.
And that wraps up the runners there at Matamata. Over to Otaki, just the 3 runners down there, but 3 pretty nice horses. The first of which is Talisker in race number 1, the Cavallo Farm and Chris Rudden Bloodstock 3-year-old, set weight and penalties 1,600. Probably thought he was going to do a bit more on Karaka Million Night there, Reece. Probably another one that can be a forgive, but draws barrier 5 with Vinnie Colgan on board.
He's bounced out of that race in great order. Really happy with him. This race has come up a lot stronger than I thought it would, but I think we'll get to the lead. We'll get it pretty soft out in front. I can't really see anything taking him on. If he can get away with a few cheap sectionals, I'm sure he'll show a great side up the straight. His form prior to the Cracker Million was massive, running second in the 2,000 guineas. Only good horses can run placings in those races. So he's certainly the best horse in the field, and as long as he doesn't get himself too wound up and upset, I'm sure he'll be right in the finish.
And race 6 there, the Macmillan Equine Feeds handicap open, handicap 1,200. Maven Bell missed the kick there on Karaka Million Night. Draws barrier 7 with Vinnie Colgan on board.
Happy with her. The blinkers go on for the first time. Her work's been really good in them. Vinnie's been in this week, and he exhibition galloped her at Matamata a couple of weeks back, and he was thrilled with her. She's gone the right way since Karaka Million Night. Can't fault her. Where she gets to from the draw, I'm not sure, but a couple of years ago, she's winning a Matamata Breeders, so that's got to be good enough form to be winning this.
Absolutely. And I mentioned 3 horses, but Xantabulous comes out, so this is the 2 down there on Saturday. Reece, have we got a best bet?
I think Maven Bell for a win.
Maven Bell for a win down there at Otaki. So follow your money if you backed her the last couple of starts. And Reece, I guess next week we head into Cup Week. There's plenty of excitement around going into Auckland Cup Week again back at Ellerslie. So we'll be looking forward to Derby Day there on Saturday, going into Cup Day the week following. So plenty of racing action to look forward to.
It sure is, and it's exciting. We've got some lovely horses coming up for the Derby and the Mufasa next Saturday. So it's an exciting time for us all.
And I must say, if you are interested in getting in and looking at getting into a yearling, they are selling very quick. I think the team had one of the biggest selling days ever on record last Saturday. So plenty of yearlings still going out the door, plenty of good ones left. And I think you can probably say from your visit to the farm, Reece, there's plenty of exciting types still left to be purchased.
Absolutely. I believe this is the best crop of yearlings Dave's ever brought in my eyes since I've been at Te Akau. They're all just lovely, strong forward horses, and we're so happy to have them all at Te Akau stud.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for your time, Reece. We're going to cross over to the 38 degrees in Melbourne and catch up with young Ben Gleeson. So have a good week and weekend, and we'll catch you again next week.
See you, Hazy.
Well, we've just caught up with Reece Trumper, and now we're over to Ben Gleeson there in the Cranbourne barn. Ben, it's been a hot couple of days in Melbourne. Has the temperature cooled today there? It is Friday.
Yeah, it's been a scorcher. It's dropped about 20 degrees in the last 10 hours, basically. So I think we got up to about 40 degrees yesterday. In the peak of the afternoon, it was 38. So yeah, the horses were feeling it a bit, but we just kept them cool, kept hosing them. And this morning we came in and most horses ate up. So that's the telling tale, I guess, that they're okay.
And that'll be an interesting, I guess, reacclimatisation for some of the Kiwi horses, which have just found their way over to Melbourne and probably not used to that level of heat.
Correct. It's a bit of a baptism of fire for Campionessa and Quintessa, who arrived on Wednesday night. So they got here on about 31 degree temperatures on the Wednesday, and then it went up to 38 to 40. So, but they did all right. They settled in. They didn't sweat up, and they just had a cruisy day swimming. So they've just spent their first morning out here under saddle and went around nicely. So happy with the way they settled in.
And great to see Imperator's performance there in the Lightning Stakes. She was really tough there, holding off Private Eye there on the line.
Yeah, incredible win. I think she just showed a lot of grit and determination to strive or surge away really on the line from Private Eye. To sit and sprint and talking with Mark, it's been sort of 2 starts now down the straight where she's won in a tough manner, and you can certainly raise question marks whether she is a straight horse, whether she really loves it, and I think it's just maybe her class shining through. But yeah, to beat that field in the way she did just shows hopefully she's in for a big autumn prep.
And she's come through the run pretty well, and there are a few options on the table there for potentially another run there, I think on the 7th or 8th of March in either the Newmarket Handicap or the Canterbury Stakes. I know the team are putting their heads together and having a think about where she goes next, if she does have another run, or whether she goes into the William Reid there on the 23rd of March as well. So we'll be all ears, and I'm sure the stable will be releasing news in the coming weeks on that. But I guess our attention turns to Caulfield there on Saturday, and 2 pretty nice runners there. First up, Campionessa in the Group 2 Carlton Draft Peter Young Stakes. A pretty competitive field. The previous Melbourne Cup winners in that field. Be interesting to see how she lines up after her Australian debut, where she ran 6th in the Australian Cup in the autumn last year.
Yeah, exactly. And she's arguably probably in the form of her life, the way she's come across from New Zealand. Pushing Legato last start is certainly as good international form as you can get. And yeah, it's a good enough race, but a lot of horses are resuming, looking to get out in trip, and she's the rock hard fit horse at a pet distance. So drawing a lovely soft barrier. Hopefully she can get a conservative run in behind the speed or just on the speed, which should be pretty an even tempo. And hopefully she can show she's the rock hard fit in-form horse in the race. And I think she really finds the perfect race first up in Australia anyway.
And the Oakley Plate there, the Group 1 event over 1,100 metres. You could throw a dart at these. It's a fairly even field across the board. And Skew Whiff, you would have been happy to see the barrier come up in barrier 3 there earlier in the week.
Yeah, I was very relieved. Certainly on my mind, plenty to hopefully see her draw inside of barriers 6 or 7, and to land in 3 is just perfect for her. There'll be really good speed from wide out and just beside her, so she'll probably have a good number of horses try and push in front of her, and if she can just slot in behind the speed with a conservative run, we all know that once she's sort of held up and let go at them late, she's got a great turn of foot. And I really don't think she should be 30 to 1 in the market. I think she's going to run a big race first up. She's a Group 1 performer, and she's in with 55.5, and there's a few horses that aren't even group performers, only getting 2 kilos off her, and they're riding the market. So I think people are underrating her at 1,100 first up. They probably think she's going to get out to 14 a mile, but we've trained her for this, and if she gets her chance, I think she'll be in the finish.
Excellent. We'll be looking forward to seeing her. Of course, she won the 1400 meter race there at Hastings at Tarzino, and then won a race there. I think it was on Melbourne Cup Day over 1400 meters at Flemington as well. So she brings the right credentials to this race. It's just whether she can get that 1100 meters and be explosive like we know she can as well. So you mentioned Quintessa's arrived there. Certainly was in the nominations earlier in the week. Ben, where can we see her line up next?
I believe Mark said she's going to run maybe Saturday week back in New Zealand. There's a race there for her. She just had a little bit of a dirty scope and they've kept it at home. So they said that'll fix up within the week, and you just don't want to travel a horse when they've got any small issue, basically. So looked after her health, and she'll run over there, and I think the blinker's on. And if she can win or run well, then she may come over for a race at Moonee Valley on William Reid Stakes Night, a mile fillies and mares group race, or fillies race, I should say. So yeah, hopefully all goes well with her, and we see her win Saturday week, and then she'll be on a plane over here, hopefully. And
Quintessa, the Australian Guineas, I believe.
Correct, yep. So Saturday week, we'll just give her quite a few days settling in, and then probably a small piece of work on Tuesday. She's rock hard fit. She's been performing incredible at home, and if she can bring that form over here, I think Mark's on the money when he says that the New Zealand form's as good, if not right up there with our Group 1 form. And to see Quintessa run such a big race in an open age Group 1, I think that holds her in good stead coming here. And it's an even group of 3-year-olds here. I don't think there's any standout star. I know Waller's horse won well last week, but I think they'll get to the Guineas with all an even chance, and she'll certainly appreciate Flemington.
Excellent. Well, thanks for your time, Ben, and good luck tomorrow. Hopefully we can have another repeat performance of last weekend, but we'll catch you again sometime soon. But see you.
Thanks, Hamish.
Rev up your racing excitement. Join Team Akau. It's easy, fun and affordable to be part of New Zealand's #1 stable, and we're now in Australia too. We've won more races, more group races and more prize money than any other stable, nearly $10 million in Australia and New Zealand alone. Imagine racing horses like Imperatriz, Campionessa. Whether you're a first-time owner or seasoned pro, at tiakauracing.com, go the Tangerine.